I'm alive. Oh, what is happening so far?
Many things that are not good.
Ooh, that is unfortunate to hear, Coco.
That was my fault.
To
Oh, did you want to jump in?
me?
Are you still? You-
I'm just chilling.
I'm okay.
I mean,
Um,
of course.
the Mensa's class is about to start, so I'm
Oh,
probably gonna jump out.
Wait, Mensa has a class right now? It's
Yep.
9 p.m. Damn.
Yeah, I
It's okay, I have to see this. Where is weekly classes? What is a class? Class.
what is a class? It's usually when people get together and learn new stuff. Usually there's a
Yeah.
teacher, some students. I'm joking.
Swear to God.
Yeah, no.
Being harassed from all sides.
I pinged a competitive feed earlier today, letting people it was 9 Eastern, which is good for Pacific time, folks. You know. No, I live in the DC area and I drive Uber, so Fridays are a mess. Trying to get home.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Suffering at its finest, Mensa.
Yeah.
To... Oh, I know these people.
You guys done with your match?
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you win?
Can you change the name
No,
of VC1? I know I don't have the privileges to do that. I don't know if you do.
not on this account. You don't.
No, no, not even on my main account. I don't have. Um,
You should be able to as a mod.
am I a mod though? Let me see.
The questioning.
What do you want me to name it?
Let me see. Yeah, like I don't when I tried before.
What do you want me to name it?
Just team building 101.
Was that not happening 7 p.m.? Am I delusional?
They delayed it.
Yeah, I had to delay it because I was the one giving the class and I didn't have the availability. That's why. That's
Yeah,
why.
Rocket. Okay,
Yeah, it's what Rocket. Rocket put it for 7 because that's what was originally on our calendar.
Rookie
But
lied. What a filthy liar. when I see him, I'm gonna give him a few words.
no, 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 no. It was a late pivot from me, so all good.
I'm still gonna harass him.
Yeah, do it. Hey, but with that,
Good night.
hey, with that, I know I'm just gonna kick it. I know there's a lot of us that are doing scrims, and there's some people watching movies and
Yeah.
whatnot. I am streaming.
I'm heading
this
over to
YouTube.
practice right now.
Okay, have fun.
So I'll see you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
This is being streamed live to YouTube. Because usually what I would do is I would ask that you hold all questions um, until there's like a pause point and I ask any questions. But because there's only 4 of you in here, let's just keep it free. All right. So who knows what meta means? When somebody says this is the meta? Who knows what that means?
It's the new hip thing.
It's not. Well, that would be emotion. That would be emotional. It's not an
Yeah,
emotional word.
meta is just whichever Pokemon has the most tools at its usage, or like really good ones at least.
Right, and they're really good. So meta actually stands for most effective tactics available.
Ooh.
That's what meta stands for. So when we look at the meta, right? Let me share my entire right screen. Boom. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. So this is what I'm streaming. I'm just streaming some good old Google Chrome, right? So if we where if you don't know where to find the meta for Pokemon Unite, this is where you find it. It's uniteapi.dev. They have a whole button over here called meta, right? And you can actually look at it. If you go to the meta tier list, right, you can click on individual Pokemon to see how they're doing. But you can also just go to the bottom. Boom. Win rate last week, pick rate last week, and ban rate last week. Look at that Empoleon. Boom. Boom. Its pick rate is lower than Venusaur, but its ban rate is also 141% banned.
Damn. Both teams are just like, nope.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it still has a 54% win rate. I would say in a game like this, anything outside the bounds of 45% and 55%, we're talking, nerfs and buffs need to happen, right? But if you look within, right, just because its overall win rate is 54.22%, let's scroll down. So Hydro Cannon Metal Claw, 54%. Hydro Cannon Aquajet, 56% win rate. Whirlpool Metal Claw, 52. Whirlpool Aquajet, 51. So even with the worst, quote unquote, worst meta build, right? And only less than 10% of the people who play this are playing Whirlpool Aquajet, right? But the quote unquote worst win rate is still a positive win rate. Bananas, right?
Mm.
And then it
Bananas.
even shows you, hey, with the top held items, right? So let's go back to this 56% win rate. With full heal, 60% win rate. With eject button, 58%. 60% win rate. That is absolutely bananas.
That's
That is
disgusting.
That is everybody. You might find some players with a 60% win rate, like, man, that's a really good player. But that's probably because that player is better than most people. A character in a game where there's 80 characters should not have a win rate this high, right? So this is the website where you find hey, what's going on in the meta right now. So now that we talked what is the meta, right? This is where you find the meta picks. Are you trying to win? Right? Here's your meta picks right here at the top. Anything above, after the top, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, everything goes to 51% or lower because they're winning so much games. Everything else is in the 50. Everything else is pretty balanced, right?
Then you scroll to the bottom and see Phalanx.
Oh, Phalanx is yeah, Phalanx got a lot of love this week. He's at 50.06. But you look at all
Damn,
the other
the six
Pokemon,
really-
they're all with it. Like the vast majority of Pokemon are within 1% of half, right? And then you get to the
Mhm.
bottom and you see the Sableyes of the world, and just
Mewtwo's.
the Mewtwo's because that held item they gave them was a nerf. That was just a nerf, and they didn't fix them, right? So they're not getting picked, they're not winning, and they're not even getting banned because nobody cares.
Want to see something interesting, Mensa?
What's that?
Scroll all the way, go to the top 5 win rates right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're all Pokemon that have a lot of dashes.
Uh,
I can Mega Lucav may be like not as much dash, right? But Impo has dash, right? Zacian's like if the best moveset is basically dashes.
Mm-hmm.
Palmet's dashes, Urshifu, depending both versions actually have a lot of dash.
I
So
so at the end of the class, I'll talk about that, right? I don't. I agree. I definitely agree. But at the very end, when we talk about actual hey, what are your considerations to build a team? Right. So now that we talked about what a meta is, right? Going through the class in order, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the meta, right? We're gonna talk about picking Pokemon, for your early considerations, which is gonna be your lane Pokemon, your jungler Pokemon, and then we're gonna talk about mid game considerations, and we're gonna talk about late game considerations. And after that, I'm gonna give you my top 5 overall considerations for picking a comp, right? So let's talk about the meta. So if you look at the top of the meta, all rounder, all rounder, all rounder, all rounder, all rounder. It looks like the meta right now is heavy all rounders that can jump in, do a lot of damage, and have good survivability, right? Well, if meta is the most effective tactics available and everybody wants to play these things, obviously you see the win rates and the pick rates and the ban rates, right? if everyone's picking those things, what about the anti-meta? What type of Pokemon would you want to counter these picks, right? Because I mean, you look at Suicune. Suicune's still doing great. Suicune's a great anti-meta pick. You know, you freeze a whole area where these guys are jumping in, right? I'm wondering how is Slowbro doing. So Slowbro is 50.19. Let's see Surf versus Surf Telekinesis 50, Scald Amnesia 50, Scald Telekinesis 50, 50 across the board, right? I'm a huge Surf fan, more because Surf Plus is a triple knockup in a wide area, which late game could overpower these things, right? But if you're not playing it in those considerations, it's, you know, what are you doing? What are some other anti all rounder things that you've seen? Like, just pick an anti all rounder mon, anyone, and we'll see how it's doing right now in the meta.
How about Saralege?
Cereledge? Well, I mean, Cereledge. I mean, Cereledge isn't doing good, and I'll talk about Cereledge, but Cereledge against other all rounders. Yeah, he's negative win rate across the board. Why do you think that is?
This screw it. Simple. Cerulege is squishy and has a lack of, any way to stun people. Except for tonight, obviously.
Yeah.
It can't stun people. The other 5 Pokemon can stun people, right? And that makes them effective. But when everybody in this game has stuns, an assassin like Cerulege simply does not have as much power.
So
It's like, get in.
You're saying he's outclassed by the other all rounders.
No, but I want to make it really specific and targeted,
Yeah.
right? So we go to
Well, so
anyway, Buzzwole.
Buzzwole. So Buzzwole, here we go. Here's Buzzwole, right? Buzzwole's got a terrible win rate.
Oof. My main.
Smackdown Leech Life
Ugh.
47. Smackdown Superpower 47. Lunge Leech Life 47. But Lunge and Superpower has 50. But if you notice, it's only being used 2.28% of the time, right? So is that a win rate, or is that just like one or two people running a very niche build because they're very good at it, right? That's some of the math you have to do, right? I like Leech Life against those things, but when we talk about more team building, you'll see why having a brawler go up against a brawler probably isn't the best idea. All right, who else? Let's look at.
How about normal Lucario?
I'm scared now.
Normal Lucario?
Yeah, normal.
No, we're trying to find Pokemon that are. Remember, the question is, what Pokemon do you think would be great anti-meta? And when we say anti-meta, like we're literally,
A Fable.
we're trying to find something that is, hey, how do we counter the meta? I think counter meta might be a better thing. All right, Clefable, 50, nice.
Ooh.
There we go. 50,
Surprise gravity is worse.
50, 40, and nobody's
Okay,
playing.
Draining Kiss doesn't count as a move. Okay, Draining Kiss is not a move.
Nobody's playing Draining Kiss Gravity? What?
Damn.
Not one person?
Not even
Yeah.
one person.
Damn.
I think I'll be the first.
Yeah.
No one wants
So-
that.
So this Draining Kiss build, even though it's only 1.5% of all the picks, it's got such a bad win rate. It's bringing it down. But so this is good. It's got a positive win rate. It's got a positive win rate on both of them. Follow me. Hey, everybody stops and follows him. Gravity, I stop your dashes, right? And obviously Moonlight.
Actually, I have to ask my other main. How's Wiggly doing? Is my Wiggly fine? Is she happy?
Oh lordy. I mean,
Oh, please don't be
I
the
think
negative. Oh my god.
But I think everything is right at 50%, which means it's doing fine, right? So I think
47.
good Dazzling Gleam, come on. Double slap rollout. Ugh. Dazzling Gleam rollout. Boom, 56.6, highest win rate in the game. Joking. Yeah. But with Potion, it's got a 65.52 Dazzling Gleam
Jesus
roll
Christ.
for that one person who plays it, right? Because it's got
True.
it's got a 2.3% pick rate overall for this Pokemon, which doesn't get picked often in the first place. And then potion pick rate within this build is only 12%. So 12% of 2%. So really though, I mean your double slap sing, which is most likely what you're gonna play, it has a positive win rate. It's doing very well. It's doing very well.
I don't want to slap people. I want to bedazzle them.
Yeah. We do what we do, right? So remember when we're talking about, hey, what is the meta? We know what the meta is. It's right here. It's right here, right? Obviously, Blissey, but this is the meta, right? So when you're thinking about things, and if you're not gonna play the meta Pokemon, you have two choices. You can play anti-meta or counter-meta, all right? You can play that, or you can choose to just play off meta because, and when I say off meta, I want to be clear. When I say off meta, that means you're not playing the meta Pokemon and you're not playing specifically to stop the meta Pokemon. You're playing something because, and this is really important for some of us, we're actually good at those Pokemon, right? Let's talk about some of the Pokemon that I'm good at and I like playing, and they're just off meta, right? Boom. Here's Desi, right? Everyone loves playing Desi. Everyone loves playing Desi. Let's check Desi's win rate. Trash, 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 trash. Right? It's all bad.
Every Pokemon I love is just getting disrespected so hard.
Right. So, is Decidueye a bad Pokemon? Not necessarily. It's useful in many situations. Spirit Shackle still has great distance, hits a lot of people. Shadow Sneak is a great way to find where people are. When you're talking about vision, vision's a really important thing in the game, right? Razor Leaf can melt multiple opponents, and then when you have, 2 or 3 all-rounders that want to just jump in the pile and do it, Razor Leaf can melt a couple of them. But it's also very squishy because it's Desi. That's always been Desi's problem. But if you're good playing Decidueye and you want to play Decidueye, and that's what you do, you are considered playing off meta. That's all I'm saying. It's off meta. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's off meta, right? It's not the most effective tactic available. That's it. Right. So, who are we gonna pick? Right? Who are we gonna pick and why? When we're talking about Pokemon Unite, there's 3 phases to the game. There's the early game, right, which some people call the laning phase, right, where everyone says ready go, and then 2 go top, 2 go bottom, 1 goes middle. Maybe you'll get a jungle steel or whatever, right? Do y'all hear my cat in the background?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's an awesome cat.
He's old. He's like 17. He's about to die. He's like just screaming because he doesn't know where things are because he's also deaf. Anyways, so so yeah, some people call that early game. Some people call it the laning phase. It's just when the game starts till the until the first objective, and I'm not talking about Regidrago. I'm talking about the Regieleki and then whatever Regi spawns in the other lane. Now that it's randomized, that's your laning phase, i.e. the early game. Right? When I talk about mid game, I'm talking about, hey, after like the first rotation and everybody goes off, and then the game becomes more fluid based on what's going on. So it's basically from that, like after the first big team fight, at the first objective, from that point on until about the 3-minute mark, what Bucket and Mikey like to call the death minute, that 3-minute to 2-minute mark, when you're getting ready for the Dawn fight. It's not the Ray fight anymore. It's the Dawn fight.
Dawn fight's always a Ray fight.
Yeah, Dawn fight. Yeah, and it's always birds, right? Even though it's always bees. It's not birds.
Always.
Going for bees. Yeah, it took about a year to get people to stop saying bees. But yeah, so Ray fight, Dawn fight, whatever, right? So, but that, let's say the 7-minute mark to about the 3-minute mark. That's your mid game, and then your late game is that 3-minute mark on, just literally the end of the game. Like, hey, what is our end game? So let's talk about considerations for early game, right? When you're trying to form a good, competent team, things that things that you have to think about in your lanes, right, is, hey, is someone going for stacks, right? If someone in your lane is going for stacks and I'm the other person, am I here to help them get stacks? Or am I here to stop the other team from getting stacks, right? What is my role, right? When we're going after contested farm, do I have do I have a good early move to last hit and secure the farm? If not, do I have a move that can stun the other opponent so my teammate can last hit that farm? Right? Because, if there's a Buzzwole in lane and he uses his goodness, what's that? The Fell Stinger. Fell Stinger is gonna last hit that thing unless somebody's got the HP to step in between them because it can only hit one target, right? Or you have a Slowbro. Slowbro's got a crazy good secure early game. But what if you have a Mamoswine in your lane, right? You just launch an Ice Bomb and freeze them so they can't get it, right? What is your goal in lane? So if you have two Pokemon in the lane that suck at last hitting and neither of them can stun the other one, there's a high likelihood that the other team is going to outfarm you and you are going to be down levels. And we all know the most important thing in this game is levels, i.e. XP, right? Which is why the best held item in the game is
XP share.
XP share, right? That's another consideration. Who is your XP shareholder in that lane? And if you're not running an XP share in both lanes, you better have a good reason. It's literally free XP. It's literally it's 30% free XP. If you're not using it, why are you not using it, right? Another thing to consider, right? Do you have two melee Pokemons in lane, or do you have two ranged Pokemons in lane? It's probably best to have one melee, one ranged, and there's some defenders that are ranged, and there's you could have a ranged defender with an all-rounder. That might make sense. Or you might have one that's you're just focused on the stun. So yeah, CCs, last hits. There's so many things to consider, right? But if you look at the three biggest things, right? One is scoring slash anti-scoring, right? On your pad. That's number one. Two, being able to last hit the farm, and three, being able to block your opponent from getting the last hit. Those are the three biggest considerations when you're in that laning phase. So if you're building a lane, make sure you have those things in consideration, right? So that's for early game, right? So, but that's in lane. Now your jungler. The jungler it's pretty easy. You have a jungler, that jungler needs to have an amazing level 5 move. If you have Desi jungling, it's probably, it would, if you're Desi and you're jungling, it's nice because you're going to get early levels, but you don't even get your primary move until level 8.
No, level 8.
Where's Desi? Decidui. Yeah.
Wait, isn't?
I'm sorry, level 7. You don't even get your primary move until level 7. Spirit Shackle or Razor Leaf. That is the primary move that your whole kit is based off of. Level 7. And you're in jungle, and you go to gank the lane and look at the other one, right? Oh, you get the second move at level 8. So you don't even get your first move upgrade until level 7, and then you get your next one at level 8. What are you going to be doing at level 5 to gank an opponent? You're just going to go down there and get beat up too. So, Decidui, probably not. Who's a fantastic jungler? Let's most speedsters. Oh yeah, Leafeon's phenomenal. I was gonna say Zoroark. Whenever a Zoroark comes in lane, it just eats everything. Right? Level 5, it gets its primary move, Night Slash or Feint Attack. It runs in and everyone's dead. Yeah, that's literally what it is. So think about that when you're a jungler. If you're a level 5, it's why when I play Meowscarada, I try not to jungle because Meowscarada doesn't get its primary move until level 6, not 5. So when you go into jungle, you're going in there with your beginner moves as a speedster. Not cool. Who's another? Here's some all. Let's talk about some all rounders. Come on, website, do that thing. Come on, fiber optic internet, do that thing. There we go. So there's some all rounders, right? Dragonite, terrible jungler, because it gets its secondary move first, right? So you talk about Dragon Dance or Extreme Speed, right? I mean that's good for lane. Especially if you're playing Dragon Dance, because getting Extreme Speed without your primary move is not fun. But then you don't get Hyper Beam or Outrage until level 8. So why would you jungle with Dragonite? Whereas other all rounders, right? Talk about Mimikyu. Mimikyu's boom, level 5, you're coming in with Shadow Claw or Play Rough. Those might not be the primary moves, but there's not a big difference between the primary move and the secondary move when it comes to, damage, or I mean really it's not Trick Room. It's Shadow Sneak if you pick that build. But that's a lot of damage when you're coming in to gank. So again, jungler, if you're not getting your move, if you're not getting your primary damage dealing move to gank a lane, which means you're coming in to help kill the opponents. Let's not beat around the bush. You're coming in to take out the opponents so that you guys can win that lane. And if you're not even strong enough to do that, pretty much by yourself with support from 2 underlevel teammates, why did you take that Mon in the jungle? All right, so enough about early game. Any questions about early game? Cool. Silence is consent. All right. Let's talk about mid-game considerations, right? So the mid-game. Mid-game is where XP and levels becomes either a boon or a detriment to your team, right? If you have a bunch of XP hungry Pokemon like Tyranitar, Decidueye, who else? Dragonite. I mentioned him earlier, right? You Pokemon that take forever to level up and get going. If you have too many of those, you're gonna get walked through mid game. If you're not allowing your XP shareholders to, share in the love, especially when it comes to scoring, because scoring gives a nice chunk of XP. If they're not scoring and getting that XP is not shared. That XP is theirs alone. So making sure that your XP shareholders are getting levels, especially your 2-stage defenders like Blastoise or who else is a 2-stage defender?
Mamo.
Yeah, Mamo. Yeah, Mamo's a great example. I don't know how many times we're on the 3rd objective and there's still a Palace one on the map. So your Venusaur's, right? Venusaur's not level 7 because it's squishy and it's getting beat up and it doesn't have its solar beam yet, right? You've got a lot of Pokemon that are really level dependent. It's those considerations. I mean, all these mid game considerations are made before the game starts. Same with the early game considerations. So things that level up early and get their moves early, right? So all of the EVs, every single EV, they get their only evolution and their most important move at level 4. You've got Slowbro. Slowbro levels up at level 4. A9 levels up at level 4. Like you've got Pokemon that are useful that can get really good damage out there early to help your team in the mid game, right? Because that mid game, usually when you're getting walked over, you're not getting walked over early like in the laning phase. You're not getting walked over late. You're getting walked over that whole mid game. You're just getting trounced, and you can't level up because you're being level gated by the other team because they had Pokemon that get stronger earlier and can sustain that mid game quicker and more reliably in the mid game. Cool. any questions about mid game considerations? All right. Now let's talk about your late game considerations, right? Late game considerations really comes down to two things. Scaling and your unite moves. Scaling, like, hey, there's some Pokemon that when it comes to late game, they are way stronger than they were in the mid game. You ever seen the difference? Here, I'll show you one of my favorite scalings in this entire game. Right? Where is he? Here's Chandelure, right? So let's put him at level 10, right? Yeah, level 10 Chandelure throwing a flamethrower, right? So if he hits and hits with the explosion, right? We're talking 1132 and 1626, right? Let's crank this up to 15.
Damn.
That second one doubled. So look at its special attack. 1005 just from 10, right? 477 to 1005. It doubles. From level 10 to level 15, it more than doubles. That's bananas, right? So things that scale late, right? Everybody knows the best scaler in the game is T-Tar, right? Once that thing gets going, it's, you know, if you get that thing going early, like late game, it's a monster, right? What about your speedsters? How are speedsters late game?
They're not really. Because like all the speedsters, you have to be dependent on level 5.
Yeah, so the speedsters are great early and mid game characters, but by late game, as long as, you know, both teams are hovering around level 13, they're not as, you know, they still do that thing that they're supposed to do, especially against squishy attackers, but they're not going to run through your whole team anymore. Some other ones. What else falls off late game? Gengar early game, like eating everything, and then late game it can't get a kill to save its life, right?
Asumari.
Yeah. Inteleon, great scaling. If that thing goes up, yeah, Inteleon's great scaling too. Look at it at level 11, special attack 518 to 900, right? So it's got phenomenal scaling. A lot of your special attackers have great scaling, except but not. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, because it's Alolan Ninetales, but they only say Ninetales, right? So A9 has a special attack of 1002 at 15, which you'd think would be great, but it's not pumping out the same damage because of the RSB, right? So Avalanche has a high base. It doesn't have a high rate. So I've done a class on RSB calculations before. If you don't understand how RSB works, get with me after the class. I'll gladly explain with you. But that's like a whole math thing, right? But the rate 36% of special attack is nothing with that much, right? And then Blizzard, right? We're talking, you know, 39, 78, 70. It's not that much. So sure, it scales well, but it doesn't actually matter that it scales well on its power level because the moves don't actually crank out the expected damage. Now the cooldown reduction's great. That's a good consideration. But yeah. Who's some bad scalers that aren't attackers? Who falls off late game?
Oh, that's a toughie. I don't know. I feel like anything like all rounder really falls off late game.
Yeah.
Because you're more dependent on special attackers for that crap.
Yeah. So the ones I wrote down, especially T-Tar and Desi are great. Desi's great late game, right? You got Desi go Burr. because its attack speed is just so crazy high. Like you can melt things as long as it's properly protected. It's actually really good late game. T-Tar is great late game. EVs are good early game. A9's good early game, and then yeah, all rounders and defenders they scale. They usually scale great. Your all rounders because they get a lot of your all rounders they get like additional like once I hit level 11 now I heal every time I do this thing, or once I hit level 13 now I get like all these stacks I can put on this move, right? There's always like additional benefits that helps them scale late. Same thing with defenders, like what I was talking before. Slowbro Surf has one knockup. Slowbro Surf Plus has 3 continuous knockups, right? There's always like an added bonus to those defenders and all rounders that make them mostly good late game. You know, not all of them. Yeah, looking at you, Scizor.
I mean, Scizor just gets trounced, to be honest.
Me punch a lot. Me do nothing but punch.
All right, so that's
I mean,
yeah. So when it comes to the scaling, right, the late game considerations, right, always thinking about like, hey, how does your power scale? You know, either your attack or special attacks stat. How does that scale? But also when you get your move plus, right? How does the move plus change? Does it do more damage? Does it give increased CC? Does it, when we're talking about scaling, we're about the totality of the entire Pokemon's kit. So it's not just one stat we're looking at. It's not just the defense stat for defenders or their HP stat. It's not just, if you have a healer, does it now do increased healing? Let's look at Eldegood. So Pollen Puff, right? Yeah, level 4 throws a Pollen Puff. Level 10, now if the Pollen Puff attaches to the teammate, it reduces incoming damage by 15% for 2 seconds before it explodes, right? So now it's doing damage reduction. Whereas before it was just healing. Yeah, so there's like take the whole kit into consideration when you're thinking about late game, because realistically, like, yes, early game helps feed the mid game. Mid game is where a lot of the momentum is built, but the game is won or lost in the late game. So how, like, you have to have things that scale. You have to have things that scale very well. Normally, the things that scale very well and are great late game, they take a while to get there. So that's why we're talking about, hey, you need a lot of synergies in these comps. So something that's good early game, make sure you have a nice mix of things that are good early game, that can feed the mid game, that can get you to the late game. Oh, and the other considerations, not just the scaling, but your unite moves, right? We were talking about Ceruledge earlier. Ceruledge it's just completely outclassed by all the other all-rounders, except its unite move. Its unite move is phenomenal. That
Its
unite
that is the
move,
most powerful unite move in the game.
It is,
except for Ho-Oh.
Yeah, Ho-Oh has the best unite in the game. It's literally the only thing that can do that thing, right? The second best.
That's the shame for all unite moves.
The second best unite move in the game is obviously Lapras, because it's the most fun. And that's it.
No, I mean, come on, think about this.
It's the most fun.
Anime moment, right? Like
It's
the
the most
anime sword
fun.
Ash.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
It is though.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's not the best, but it's so fun.
To be fair, tactically, right? Being able to like jet ski across the entire map is kind of awesome.
I mean, if tactics was like, if tactics was the best part of a unite move, then Dragonite would have the best one. We all know that thing is terrible.
True, yeah.
It can fly across the whole map in a second. Woo! Anyways, but no, seriously, the unite move, like, is your unite move going to be something like, I would put Slowbro's unite move as a top 5, because you can literally walk up to the biggest threat on the other team and just grab it, and there's nothing they can do about it, unless
They still have a Slowbro.
they have a Slowbro too, and they wait for you to do yours first, and then they take you out by doing theirs. Right? That's it.
You can
So
go reverse.
yeah, but you can't do that. You can't do that in draft. So only one of y'all get it. But I'm saying like there's the unite moves are where that final thing is usually won and lost. That final big fight is usually where it's so again, late game considerations, it's really two. It's scaling and it's unite moves. So alright, now when it comes to building a team, these are my personal this is Coach Mensa here. I am neither a professional in the game nor do I consider myself to be amazing at the game. I feel like my mental, like when I think about the game, is better than me actually clicking the buttons because I'm old and I'm not a gamer. I just love this game, right? So, all right. So, top 5 considerations for picking a Pokemon. Number 1, and you already said it earlier, it's mobility.
Be good at the mom. Oh, never mind.
It's mobility. When I'm looking at a Pokemon, mobility is when I watched hours upon hours on end of the World Championships, you got all these Pokemon that are just highly mobile. The number 1 attacker picked, you know what the number? Who knows what the number
Mewtwo.
1? Yeah, Mewtwo. Why? Why was it Mewtwo? Why?
Because
Mobility,
of the teleportation.
and they probably used teleport instead of the healing move too.
They did. They used teleport, and what's the one that like shoots them with? Was it Psyshock?
Future Sight, Psyshock
Future Sight.
is the other one, but there's also Future Sight.
Which is the one that hits them with the beam and then it explodes after like 2 seconds while they're, but they can't get
You guessed it.
CC'd while the boom. Oh yeah, I literally have Unite
Unstoppable.
DB on.
Yeah, I don't remember which one has the unstoppable crap. That stuff eludes me.
Yeah. So, Psystrike. Yeah. So while Psystrike is doing the initial thing, it can still move while it's doing the little zap, right? It's like zap, 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 zap. Mewtwo can still move, and he's unstoppable while he's doing it. So if somebody comes near him and thinks he's gonna get CC'd, he does that. Somebody wastes their move, and then teleport, he's gone, right? Mobility is number 1, and number 2 on my list is CC / anti-CC. How many times have you been playing a match and you're just sitting there like trying to do stuff and you just can't move because the other team has like 4 or 5 Pokemon on their team that's just throwing CC on you and like you literally can't move?
80% of solo queue.
There you go.
Fair enough.
And then your team has 5 attackers and no CC. Right? That's usually how solo queue goes. So
Yeah.
So mobility number 1, CC / anti-CC, because we just talked about moves like Psystrike, or you know you got that Machamp running in with his submission and you can't do anything. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you. He's not gonna do much when he gets you, but he's gonna get you, because you're not gonna stop him, unless you have a Slowbro Unite. So those are the first 2, right? The third consideration is power. Right? A lot of times, you're going to get beat because the other team just out damages you, right? Yeah, it might be nice to have a pocket supporter on you and 2 defenders and all this stuff so you can protect the president or whatever, right? But if there's only one person really dealing damage on your team, how do you kill the other team? How do you knock them out? How do you win team fights? Right? You need to deal damage to take them out so you can take over objectives and do that thing called scoring points. Right? So power. And again, it's not just the stats, right? It's not just, hey, what is my special attack stat of 780? It's how much damage do I actually do when I do this, right? I'm doing 76% of that. Ooh. But we talk about mobility and anti-CC. He's great. He's absolutely great. He might not be the most powerful auto attacker in the game, but he's doing that thing, right? The fourth consideration after power is sustain. And it's not just your healer's job to sustain you. Sometimes it's your job to sustain yourself, right? And if we look at all four of my top five, the top four of my top five, let's go back to the meta. Oh, hold on. Let's go back to the meta. Empoleon has mobility, yes. CC, not so much. Anti-CC, yes. He has anti-CC in his kit. Cool. Is he powerful? Absolutely.
Nope.
Can he sustain? Yes, he can sustain. Why do you think the biggest win rate is Aqua Jet and Hydro Cannon? It has it all. It literally has it all. So, and the fifth consideration is it's pretty easy. It's end game viability, right? It's gonna be hard to get these things, right? But you want Pokemon. Oh, who were the two top defenders in UCS?
Russell, I think.
Nope.
Because I think
Russell
it was Russell
and
Snorlax.
Snorlax, wasn't it? Or Slowbro?
Nope.
I feel like it was those three, to be honest.
Yeah, I think like Snorlax was definitely on there, like for sure.
Snorlax was number 1. Blastoise was number 2.
Really?
Do you know what the Blastoise moveset was?
It
Let me
might have been
guess,
Rapid
all
Spin,
CC.
Rapid Sprint?
but
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Spin
Yeah,
Pump.
honestly, man.
Spin Pump. Because you can't CC
yeah,
it.
that seems to be
Spin
big.
Pump is awesome.
Yeah, Spin Pump. You can't
Spin Pump
CC
is
it.
huge.
You can't CC it, and he can CC you while he can't be CC'd. Bananas.
Oh, that's why I need to look at that moveset, because I don't
Right.
play that moveset very much.
And then Snorlax is every single Snorlax was playing block, every single one. And what are two things that block can do?
It gives
What?
you
Unstoppable.
unstoppable and it
And
stuns.
It stuns, it gives
And
you
it gives you a
unstoppable, and it gives you sustain, right? So, and then what do you people usually pair with it?
Usually heavy slam, but lately I've honestly liked flail for a little bit of health return upon certain enemies. But I typically do go heavy slam with it
So if you go
because I can heavy slam them and then catch them into my block right afterwards.
if you go heavy slam or flail, either way you're getting mobility. You're getting mobility, CC, anti-CC, and sustain for both of them because don't forget when Blastoise goes Rapid Spin Plus, it gets a crazy defense jump, like a bananas defense jump. It's sickening how much his defense pops up. So he's got sustain. He just doesn't have heal. He can sustain though. Sustain is shields. Sustain is heals. Sustain is being able to take damage, like Muddy Water Gudra. Muddy Water Gudra doesn't heal, but its defense goes through the roof. So that's why it used to be really good. But yeah, so think about those things: mobility, CC and anti-CC. How much power are you doing? Can you sustain? And what is your endgame viability? Try to get as many of those things as possible. If you can get as many of those things as possible in your mon, or if you don't have them, how do you shore up those weaknesses? All right, Scrump. Pick an attacker you
Yes.
like. Pick an attacker you like to play.
Delphox.
Boom. All right. Delphox. All right. So, are you doing flame charge or fire spin?
Fire spin.
Fire.
90% of the time. I'm still learning flame charge. It's a higher skill threshold than I'm currently at.
It is a higher skill threshold, and so, what is the number? What was my number one consideration?
Mobility?
Yeah, and which one has?
Which is fire charge, because without
Flame-
flame charge, he has no mobility. It's a liability actually.
Yeah, flame charge has.
Mobility.
Yeah, flame charge has crazy mobility, right? That fire spin Desi can launch fire spins all day to Kingdom Come, but if he can't move, he's speedster meat.
True.
So how do you say you want fire spin Delphox in your in your. So we're talking about team building, right? We're not talking about just crapping on every Pokemon on the roster because it doesn't do something. Say you go, listen, I want Fire Spin because Fire Spin can actually follow Pokemon who have high mobility and force them to go in a different direction. Like if you don't want them advancing on you, you put the Fire Spin in front of them and it starts chasing them backwards. So now either if they want to get to you, they have to waste their mobility move to get over the Fire Spin to get to you, or they retreat, right? So I want to play Fire Spin. It doesn't. That move set on Delphox, he does not have mobility. He does have CC. He does have power, right? Because usually when you play Fire Spin, you're playing either one of these, and both of them have great. They deal great damage, especially late game. Fire Blast hits twice for. Let's see. Let's just talk level 9, right? So you're hitting them for 2,000 on the thing, or you're hitting them for 1,200 with Mystical Fire and reducing your cooldowns once you hit level 11, right? So you're hitting them hard, you're CCing them, and you want to protect Delphox, right? How do you shore that? Because he doesn't have mobility and he does not have sustain. He does have CC, he does have power, and he does have endgame viability because he's got a great Unite, a whole AoE Unite. How do you shore up his lack of mobility and sustain? What would you do?
My two choices personally is eject
Or just
button
like your
and
comfort.
X speed.
Okay, so giving him an item. What were you saying?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying X-Bid.
So you also agree give him an item.
Yep.
Okay. Why not? Why not have somebody pocket or either pocket him or babysit?
Well, so the pocket thing is, Delphox is good, but he is not really good enough. So like, if you want to have someone pocket him, I don't know what you would have to pocket him. Maybe like LD or something that can increase movement speed.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he's a squishy, right? You want to pair LD up, like any supporter up, with something that can actually carry, like an all-rounder or speedster, right? So it's kind of wasted on Delphox. He's not good enough.
Or no, but you could also have a Blissey throwing eggs, right? Who stands in between him and your front line that can throw eggs at the opponent while Delphox has a chance to get over to you guys and support him better, or or throw eggs forward to your front line if they need them. Right? It's not just an item. Like your team shouldn't be on their own, right? Or if you're playing Snorlax doesn't have to be way out in front. If Snorlax is right there, you guys can just come towards each other and block that dude away while you start throwing fire spins his way, right? There's ways to so when we talk about these overall considerations, how do you mitigate the weaknesses? And that's the thing, right? So just think about the considerations, and these are full game considerations, right? I'm gonna leave it on this, and then I'm gonna take some questions. But the mobility number 1, CC anti CC number 2, power number 3, sustain number 4, and endgame viability number 5. Those are the overall considerations when you're saying, hey, how do I build a comp around these things, making sure that we have a lot of these together, right? Because not every Pokemon on the roster has these, right? You might want a Pokemon that sucks at all these things but has huge power, right? How do you integrate it into your comp? So that's really what it comes down to, right? So those considerations aren't every single individual Pokemon. You're talking about and we talk about the comp, you're talking about the team composition, like all 5 Pokemon together. What do they bring to the table as a team in totality? And that's when we're talking about comps. So, gonna end it there. Appreciate you guys coming. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody?
Yeah. Why did you release this exactly before an in-house tournament? Were you trying to make things more? Are you doing something, Mensa?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
Oh, sweet God. Okay. One second. Why did you release this exactly before an in-house tournament? This feels.
Because the in-house tournament is next weekend, not this weekend.
Oh, it's next week.
Yeah, it's next.
Jeez.
Weekend.
Okay. Then I'm. I think old.
I
Oh my
have
God, I
a
feel old.
possibly unrelated question. When
Hmm.
I'm in a ban match, should I be choosing a defender more to help my team or to counter the enemy? Or maybe try to do both?
Yes. And when you're banning, you should ban Sableye because.
You-
Oh,
You're
sorry.
absolutely right.
Custom
For
might.
the reasons I know you're about to say, you are right. Sableye has ruined 2 matches for me today alone
Because
on my team.
I don't care if Turks on my team. That Sableye is not ganging this match.
Players are terrible. No. So I mean, if and if you want to go anti-meta, just do what the meta's doing, right? Remember, what is the meta doing right now? They are banning these four, right? I'm a big proponent of banning supporters. If I could ban Clefable and Blissey every single match, I would. I would ban them both every single match.
The hate crime.
The hate crime. Yeah.
What
So
about
The hate
Comfy?
crime.
You wouldn't ban Blitzy and Comfy?
I would never ban Comfy. Comfy's dumb.
Comfy on a speedster is crazy.
Wait, where's Comfy's?
Yeah, again, it's
Hold on.
Comfy on.
Comfy
If
is
you have a good team,
On Blaziken?
like so really remember we're talking about the end game viability, right? End game viability. Comfy on anything late game when everything is leveled up. It's not adding to anyone's mobility. I mean, if you're playing the CC move set, you're not doing sustain, so you're picking one or the other. It has absolutely zero power and zero endgame viability. Like, where is Comfy on this win rate? Where are you? Oh, we'll just go to
it
Comfy.
kicked it off. It's not a
I think
Pokemon. It's a
I
parasite.
saw him, I think, like on the lower half of that, but
It's a Pokemon. I mean,
Ah.
it's not a Pokemon. It's a parasite.
I am not human. Floral healing with a 46% win rate. Floral healing grass knot.
I think because like if they're solo queuing it, hey, there's a 54% chance win rate right there.
Yeah. So Sweet Kiss, right? And I've been saying this for so long. Sweet Kiss is phenomenal, right? Because
Yeah.
look at the list, right? So mobility number 1, it has it in neither kit, right? CC being number 2, Sweet Kiss and Grass Knot are both CC moves.
Yep.
Amazing, right? And then we go to power. It doesn't have power in any of its kit, right? Sustain, right? Now we talk about the sustain kiss, right? 46.
That's interesting too when you look at that and look at the pick rates too.
Yeah.
It's interesting that's the third most picked.
And that's the thing, right? So we talk about the pick rate. So it's 10% of.
And that's because people don't know how Sweet Kiss works while they're using it. Or sometimes if I'm trying to Sweet Kiss for one of my buddies, they also don't understand what my Sweet Kiss is doing. So I think there's a lot of ignorance on that particular move.
Yeah. So Comfy's being picked 18% of the time. So we're talking about 10% of the time an 18% picked Pokemon is using that moveset. So, And
I feel like though you start seeing that a lot more on higher elos though, because I see it quite a bit.
right. And
Yeah,
We need to
I'm
have a
not
Sweet Kiss
super high.
class.
So again, right, normally nobody's going to be playing that moveset on their own. Nobody's going to say, I'm just going to go to solo queue and play Sweet Kiss Comfy, because you have to be you pretty much have to be in Discord with a teammate saying, all right, get ready, I'm going to jump in, right? All right, I'm getting my Sweet
Yeah.
Kiss ready. So to charge that thing before someone dives in and then everyone turns into zombies. Zen, remember I was going to make that zombie comp? That's going to be fun.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I know.
So, but again, no, I wouldn't ban it over Clefable or like Clefable. Just the amount of heals and the anti CC that it has is bananas. And then Blissey, I don't care about the egg moveset, but man, just
Safeguard.
Safeguard is just so dumb. Like it's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
The Safeguard prevents me from getting good with the egg moveset because it's so crucial, and then Helping Hand helps out so many of like the attackers in solo queue, right? Everybody wants to choose like A-Rai or Cinderace.
Yeah.
So I often find myself with Blissey never being in a position to try out the eggs. I only have like 10 egg matches. It's fun, but it's not the one that seems to be the best when I'm trying to play Blissey.
Yeah, I mean, so both normal builds have positive win rates, and obviously helping hand safeguards that. But when you have, and I'm talking like when Overlord ran through us and had like 32 kills and almost 290k damage,
He had safeguard, didn't he?
he was a blue bear, pocketed by a helping hand Blissey. Nobody
Yeah,
could,
that's so
Yeah, 'cause
dirty.
there's so much stun in CC and like safeguard. Like,
nobody
helps.
could touch you. Nobody could touch him. And here I am playing a defender build Cinderace because of some stupid challenge we're doing in the server, and I'm just messing around, and I run into this dude like, oh lord,
It's like, of
melted
course,
us.
when you want to try something new or different, and you're like, hey, let's experiment a little bit. Of course.
No, it wasn't
Of
even
course.
experimentation. It was being dumb on
Murphy's Law.
purpose. Well, being dumb on purpose, and I run into the best carry in the game, right? Like, what are we doing here? Anyways.
Murphy's Law, man.
Yeah.
It'll be cruel sometimes.
Yeah, but seriously, like, but you look at you know, anti CC is I've got anti CC number 2 on my list and sustain number 4. Anti CC 52, sustain 50. Right? I mean, I made this list without referring to this. Right? It's just, you know, like I said, I feel like I know the game way better than I play it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't look at what I do. Look at what I say.
Yes. Yeah, don't watch me play, listen to me talk, all right? All right. So, what else? Any other questions?
Do you think that they're starting? Do you think that they're going to start to try to move away from the stun comp a little bit, because it looks like they're bolstering the hell out of defenders and supporters? Doesn't tenacity belt kind of negate some of the stun, or ups your defense, right? Ups your defense doesn't negate some stun.
So I know the tenacity belt is there to give you more defense while you're stunning, but it doesn't negate their stun, which is weird because tenacity is a hidden stat in this game that they don't list on any of these websites, right? But tenacity is a stat that lowers the amount of CC. So if you ever play like volleyball or the stupid char bug mode where you start off at level 15, and you ever notice that whenever you try to stun people, they're not stunned as long as you normally feel they're stunned for? It's because the Pokemon with higher tenacity which grows by level just like any other stat, they're actually lowering it. What is it? The gray emblems where it reduces like your CC downtime. It's literally tenacity. It's just adding to your Pokemon's natural tenacity. And Pokemon's like Serena and some of your other all-rounders, they get really good tenacity stats, but it's a stat that you can't find anywhere, and I know for a fact it's in the game because I've seen it before.
Yeah, I think it has to be like double-sided, because I think it's like what. I'm not sure. Would you say that actually? Maybe not double-sided, because I'm thinking like Wigglytuff. The stun is crazy.
Yeah.
But like maybe it doesn't have a lot of tenacity itself. I don't know, but never mind. I was
Yeah,
thinking about it.
and you know, Sleep and Sleep Plus are. Yo, are you broken? Did you break? Delphox, save me. Okay. Is it just this one? Hey, we're live. Let's
So
go.
another thing with team comp building, I'm not sure if I'm asking a question or trying to look for validation, but if somebody picks defender right away, all of a sudden I'm in fill mode. And what I noticed lately is everybody wants to go like a melee all-rounder. And then my answer to that is always, oh shit, I need to play Venusaur so we can have some range while they're all in there doing their melee thing.
Okay.
Is that kind of like a good way thinking, or do I need to add some more to that?
So
I
listen.
think
If I were to tell you, listen, if I were blind picking 5 Pokemon types for a comp, Pokemon independent, who the Pokemon is, I don't care, right? But if you told me, hey, what positions should I have? I would say you should have 1 Speedster, 1 ranged attacker. The farther the better. Doesn't matter if it's a mage or a mage or an A presser, right? Or whatever, right? I mean, Armor Rouge,
is a mage, and it's got some distance, right? As long as it's got good range, right? So one attacker, one speedster, and 3 pick your fatties, right? Doesn't matter if they're all rounders or defenders, but don't have 0 of any of them. And you could throw a healer on there, but really just one speedster, one attacker, no more, no less, and fill the rest.
What do you think about these like multiple speedster comps? I see them a lot, like 2 or 3 speedsters sometimes pop up, but like they have like bulk or they have like support, but like you know what I mean? They have
They
the rules are still.
they fall off late game. Like so
Yeah.
when the map
Like I feel you know because you know I don't mess with like I don't even for fun. Everyone knows this, even for fun, just for shits and giggles. I'm not gonna do a 5 speedster comp. I'm not gonna do it. But I see people do like 2 and 3.
We did it the other day. It was
I'm
it
like,
was
I ain't doing
terrible.
that. Nope.
So it was terrible, and then it was great, and then we lost at the
Yeah.
end, right? Because
I will do
speedsters fall off late.
other group.
Yeah.
I'll do any other like all supporters, haha, fun, defender, attacker, not speedsters. I will not do speedsters. I've done it twice and like never
Yeah.
again.
So if you look at let's go back to early game. So let's talk about 5 speedsters, right? Early game considerations, right? You talk about like last hits and farming and like it's so hard to get your levels early when all you have is speedsters, right? But once you do get your levels, mid game is great. And you got 5 speedsters. Once they all hit level 5, 6, 7, like mid game is phenomenal. And then late game, you're out bulked, you're out damaged, you're out everything, you're out CC'd. And like it doesn't matter how cool your moves are, you're not ripping, you know, a Blastoise and a Crustle just standing there. It's just not happening. So 5 speedsters.
Not like with like
Yeah.
a fed Leafeon though. Not with a fed Leafeon with a delete button basically.
Oh, yeah. Well, but a fed Leafeon with a delete button can't delete Blastoise. A fed Leafeon can't delete Charizard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's late. Like a level 14 Charizard is not getting deleted by Leafeon. A level 8 Charizard will. So yeah, all right. But yeah, so one attacker, no more, no less. One speedster, no more, no less, and the other 3 from you could have one. I would say at least one all rounder, right? You could have 2 all rounders and a defender. I'm sorry, Zen. The multiple speedster thing, when the map changed from Ray to Groudon and there was all these changes, there was so much confusion. The meta was in such a weird place because nobody knew what to do. Everyone's running around like maniacs, and when you're running around by yourself, it's not Pokemon Solo, it's Pokemon Unite. That's a speedster's dream. And that's why two speedsters was crushing the meta early. As the meta became more refined and everyone started doing somewhat normal things again, and I say somewhat because solo queue is solo queue, but when people started doing normal things again, rotating, like, oh, the map is literally the same, it's just a little different now, and people started doing normal things, 2 speedsters wasn't cutting it anymore. It went back to what are the actual strongest Pokemon, and more often than not, it's all rounders. So
really, really quick. How do you make 2 attackers work? If the people you have on your 5, or there's just 2 attackers, like there's no really way of 2 ways about it. Like how do you make 2 attackers work?
You need
1 jungle, 1 lane, or what?
If you have to make now, if one of those 2 attackers is a mage, you let it mage, and just leave it alone, and then the other attacker can be, you know, your DPS guy, right? But if they're both DPS, I mean, really, the only way you let it work is by making sure that they are protected, right? So again, like having a Machamp running submission that can grab a speedster while it's trying to take them out. Having a Ho-Oh that can, you know, fly backwards and put a slowing circle on them so they have a better chance of survivability. You know, just something, a Slowbro to grab them and knock them up while they rip them. Like, you have to have something that can keep them protected because Sustain's number 4 out of 5 because Sustain can't stop you from dying quickly. Sustain works on defenders. Sustain doesn't work on attackers. Sustain doesn't work on
Wait, what about
speedsters.
Greninja though? It seems like it works on Greninja because Greninja has like life steal. Also, I had a quick question.
Well,
I mean, I just have two, right? With Greninja's life steal, which is insane sometimes, but also, like, does it work by like is another way it can work is like having one of the attackers be the jungler and have the other attacker be in lane? Is that another way it can work, or is it like, or
sure.
like can they both be in lane, or?
It depends on the rest of your comp, right? So we're talking about the totality of your comp. Like if you have two attackers,
Exactly.
I would never put them in the same lane together, ever, right?
Yeah, but like, can one go top and go bottom, or like, does one have to be in lane and another one go bottom, or like?
No, it all depends, right? So let's take two different attackers, right? Alola Ninetales, right? The lanes are exactly the same now. The amount of XP in top lane and the amount of XP in bottom lane are pretty much the same. There's no more difference, right? It used to be you want your stackers up top and your your thick boys down bottom, whatever, right? But now like it's so fungible. It's not like you're setting up for a specific Reggie because they spawn randomly, like randomly top or bottom. You don't know which one to go for, or like which one's gonna spawn where until it spawns. So let's take Ninetales though. I would always play Ninetales in lane. I would never jungle with it. Alolan Raichu. If I had both of these, I would have Ninetales in a lane, right? And I would have Alolan Raichu jungling because Alolan Raichu's level 5 is phenomenal, right? Unless I had a better gank, I would put Alolan Raichu center, right? Now the Alolan Ninetales, I would put it in a lane with a melee Pokemon, hopefully a defender. I wouldn't mind it going with an all-rounder because it gets early level 4, right? It gets levels early and it can CC things. But if you're talking to auto attackers, like say you had Alolan Raichu and Desi,
Greninja.
right? Oh, Greninja, right? So I would still have Alolan Raichu jungle because it's got a better level 5 than Greninja, right? However, Greninja is going to be better later in the game because they both have really good mobility, right? And Greninja's could be a pseudo speedster when you're playing Surf, right? Because it can jump in and get some melee kills. But I would still put Greninja in lane and Alolan Raichu, unless you had a better level 5 jungler, right? So, say you had those two and you also had Zoroark. I would put Zoroark in jungle and put Alolan Raichu in lane, right? But then when I'm looking at which lane do I want to gank, you have two ways of thinking. You can gank the stronger lane so that you can guarantee the KOs, or you can gank the lane of the Pokemon on your team that you want to level up faster, right? And if I don't know the other two Pokemon that are in lane, and I've got Alolan Raichu in one lane and Greninja in the other lane, I'm going to go help the Alolan Raichu because I want the Alolan Raichu to get to level 5. Because it's got a better level 5 than Greninja does.
But wouldn't you just go to the stronger lane if you're trying to stack, though? That way you can help everybody easier later
Again, another consideration, right? So, so for the whole team building, I mean, I went through early game, mid game. Early game being consisting of your lane phase and your junglers, right? And then mid game considerations, late game considerations, and then the overall considerations, right? My number one overall consideration is mobility, and Alolan Raichu and Greninja both have fantastic mobility. So, if you're talking attackers, like those two are probably two of the top 4 on my list of attackers.
Okay,
So.
really quick. So I just saw something in the chat, right? So were you dissing Alolan Raichu, Alolan Ninetales earlier? Please explain.
I wasn't dissing it. I was saying that it falls off late game when it comes to power.
Okay.
It's true. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great early and mid game mon. It doesn't have mobility, but it has great CC. It's got good power, and I wouldn't say, but its end game viability and its sustainment is, it kind of keeps it from being good. One of its kits has mobility, but yeah, it's not a bad Pokemon. I like Alolan Raichu for its mage build. I love it.
No, I was saying about Alolan Ninetales, but
No, that's what I meant. Alolan Ninetales. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Alolan Raichu could be the best attacker in the game right now. Could be.
You think? just Electro Ball or like is Psychic Store power back? Because I was wondering that myself. Is Psychic Store power back?
It's got mobility with all of its kit. I
Who's
mean,
Cuddles?
yeah, Stored Power's only got 49% win rate because it's literally just an A pressing build. But Electro Ball Thunderbolt has stunned its kit again, right? So you talk about the totality of the kit, right? So overall considerations: number one, mobility. Its whole kit has mobility. Number two, CC, right? Only one of its kit has CC, and it's the Electro Ball Thunderbolt. So like, look at the difference, right? I have proved myself right yet again. Number three, power. They're both really powerful. Number four, sustain. It doesn't really need sustain because you can't catch the damn thing. And endgame viability, like it just gets stronger as the game goes on. Like yeah, and you can't catch it, right? So it's good throughout the entire game. But all right, so we are at 10:20. We are definitely way over. If you didn't catch the whole thing, don't forget to like and subscribe me on YouTube and watch my videos. And if you don't, you are going to get ham, like really old ham, for Halloween.
And I'll feed you to the Theroletheon.
There you go. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.